You're watching Talk Minute, and I'm your CJ. Welcome back to the album ranking. And today's album ranking or discography ranking will be of Dying Fetus, as you can see the title. A re-rank. I've done this one before on this channel. The old video probably get taken down because, yeah, really outdated, and opinions have changed. A new album has come out from this band. It was, I think, in August or September, so a month or 2 months ago. And I did review that one on this channel, so go check that out. I'll probably mention it later in the video so you remember. But, yeah. I have to preference. I have to say this. All these albums are perfect. I honestly don't think Dying Fetus has ever done anything below a 10, honestly. I think that all their albums are just perfect all the way through. And just a preference set to make sure that you know that number 9 isn't bad. Isn't bad. Number 9 is War of Attrition from 2006 or 2007. I can't really, I thought I knew, but the CD says 2007. But fantastic, but one has to be last. And, well, sorry about this. It's got to be last. It comes down to preference, as the songs on War of Attrition does it for me, definitely, but not as much as the other 8. I honestly cannot explain my preference, but still consider this album perfect. And yeah, favorite song on here is Ancient Rivalry. It's just such a banger, honestly. It's one of my favorite Dying Fetus songs of all time. And yeah, this album is great, but it's got to be last. One's got to be last, and yeah, this one's gonna fall there. Number 8 is Stop at Nothing from 2003. I had this one high on the list last time, but other ones got bumped up, so I cannot stress enough. I'm going to mention this again. Just because an album is lower on this list doesn't mean it is bad. Stop at Nothing continues what the previous album does, but I just prefer Destroy the Oppression a lot more. There is not a bad song on here. It's the same kind of ripping tone and gross vocals that feature on their other releases. And while it comes down to preference, let's say that again. 10 out of 10. Best song is Abandon All Hope. It's another one of those ones that would end up on a greatest hits if Dying Fetus would ever do that. It probably wouldn't end up on a greatest hits because it wasn't a big hit, but it's still one of their best songs in my opinion. But yeah, Stop at Nothing from 2003. It's either controversy or not. Number 7 is actually Wrong One to Fuck With from 2017. Again, comes down to preference, as there is fantastic songs here and nothing bad. The longest album in the discography, which I do think that factored into the placement of the album. The tone is good. The tone is as good as ever, with the classic overdriven, heavy as all fuck sound that we all know and love from this band as well. One of the best live bands of all time. Best song here, Panic Amongst the Herd. That opening riff is just so fucking great. Oh my god, that song is so fucking good. Honestly, go listen to that one. If you want to listen to this album, the best song off of here is Panic of the Herd. I've mentioned before. Check that out. It's fucking amazing. Number 6 is actually going to be their debut album from 1996, Purification Through Violence. The intense debut album, great raw start that shows what will come later, while still holding up today. An impressive tone, to say the least, as it's one of Dying Fetus' heaviest to date. Raped on the Altar, second favorite song in this album. I gotta mention it. And yeah, I'd hate if I didn't mention that song, especially with that intro that they have on that one. But the best has to be Skullfucked. Holy shit, that song is fucking fantastic. The riffs on that song is just so fucking good. And to think this album is actually the one that started this band it's just unreal, honestly. So, yeah. Purification Through Violence at number 6. Number 5 is actually going to be Destroy the Opposition. This one was my least favorite years ago. It's moved up the list a lot because, well, yeah, preferences change. This one definitely did. For some reason years ago, I was not a big fan of this album, but now I've grown to love it. cleaner production that doesn't completely kill the album like what happened to other death metal bands at the time. Yeah, other death metal bands try to do cleaner production, but yeah. And the reason it didn't get killed is because Destroy the Opposition still carries the brutality wanted in a death metal album. Just straight fucking brutal, all the way through. It's got that Dying Fetus brutality to it, and definitely doesn't wane on that at all, which a lot of other records did that at the time. A lot of other albums went kind of soft. Dying Fetuses never went soft, so that never really had any impact. Number 4 is actually going to be Make Them Beg for Death from 2023. The brand new one that came out just recently. I know I don't preference, honestly. The most recently released album at the time of this video, just missing the top 3. But I'm going to say it again, preference. I don't know how I don't wear that out, because yeah, I just have to say that over and over and over so people actually get that I'm talking about, like, I don't dislike any of these albums, because people have gotten that mixed up in the past with my videos, so I have to just stress it. I made a full review on this channel for this album. If you want to check that out, I go into more detail and more depth to it. But yeah, best song mentioned on that video was Feast of Ashes. Still hasn't changed after listening to this album a lot more after that video, even then, and actually picking up a CD copy. Absolutely love it. Number 3 is actually going to be 1998's Killing on Adrenaline. Now you already know what number 2 and number 1 are. Let's see which ones they are. Killing on Adrenaline, a better, more technical version of the debut album. Definitely has the tone of the debut, but has more technicality and more, like, honestly, has everything the debut has and more. Sweet picking, the better songwriting, just everything just more refined in the debut album. The debut album still holds up to this one, though, yeah, the debut is one of my favorites as well. And anything from top 6, anything from top 9, honestly, it holds up. The vocals have more of a bite to them, with more emphasis on aggression. The production is perfectly flawed, giving the album a great flavor. Musicianship is on full display as everything comes together full circle in a chaotic mess. Absolutely love this album. The greatest song on the album is Procreate the Malformed. One of my favorites of all time from Dying Fetus. One of the best songs that they've ever done. And on their 1998 second sophomore. No sophomore slump on that one. Number 2 is going to be Descend into Depravity from 2009. Yeah, you already knew this one was coming because I think it was number 1 on my last list too. If you've watched that one, because, yeah, long-time viewers. This is a badass album and is one of the best death metal albums of the 2000s. It completely shocked the scene when it came out, because, like, everything was so soft until this one. And yeah, it takes what the album before it does and turns it up to 1,000 with bolder sound and more more destructive riffage. Stutter. More technical than ever, with sweeps everywhere and unique destructive rhythms accompanied by intense beatdown riffs. Truly has everything, as the production is crisp but still has that intense bite. All of them has an intense bite, honestly. You can say that about any of these albums. 10 out of 10. Best song is Atrocious by Nature. You thought I was going to say Your Treachery Will Die With You, but that is one of my favorites as well. It's just that I like Atrocious by Nature a lot more, and definitely drives that album It's a middle of the road song on this album, like right in the middle of the album. Just drives it fully truly drives it right into the ass end of this album. Number 1 is gotta be Reign Supreme. You knew this one was coming, or you didn't, I don't know. But yeah, this one is one of my favorites. This is their Supreme record, and the disc is falling out, damn it. I hate when that happens, but Reign Supreme, Dying Fetus' Supreme Record, one of the finest death metal albums ever released, with a track list that is basically their greatest hits in their live set. Most of the songs are staples of their live set because of how intense and energetic they are. The tone is the best of their career, with the reliance of beatdown riffs and sweeps littered throughout. The songs to mention are many, like Invert the Idols, Subjected to a Beating, Second Skin, and In the Trenches. But yeah, you have to mention From Womb to Waste, the best song that they've ever done, and like one of my favorite songs that I've ever seen live. And yeah, it was the opening song too. It was the opening song of that, so it was even more of a shock that it was actually the opening song of the set. Absolutely love that song. Absolutely love this album. It's their best. It never will change. It would definitely fall on a top death metal albums list. So yeah, that's how I rank Dying Fetus. If everyone liked it. And yeah, I will see everyone whenever I decide to upload again, which might be later this week. So, peace.